Clickbaity enough? I know. I am guilty. I am guilty like the last episode, but I wanted you guys to be here because I think it's important. And if you're here, then my objective has been met. I only ask one thing. Before you comment, watch the whole video. That's all I ask. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator. My name is Andy. I am the aforementioned Sports Card Investigator. And an extra special welcome to those individuals that would not normally be here today. Ed, Mike, Cesar, Jason, Jeremy, Frank, Rick, Caleb, Eric, Jim, JC, Mark, Jake, Terry, MP, Dave. And the list will go on. And if I missed you, stay tuned because there's a good chance you guys will be mentioned later in this episode. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time, simply stated, my goal for this channel is to help, whether it be with information, strategies, interviews, professional guests, how-to videos, whatever I can do. I have no hidden agenda, no Patreon, no merch, no smoke and mirrors, no pump and dumps, no who to buy, what to buy, when to buy, or what I bought. That's not me. And my strategy in cards is simple. I target first-year rookie basketball players, players in their first year that I believe have the best chance to succeed going forward. And that's the key for me. I use information provided by professionals, those who know the game. And my goal, as always, is just to provide information that gives you the best chance to succeed and maybe have a little edge. And I also like to share opinions. I have collected cards my entire life, and now I do that with my son, and we continue to enjoy doing that to this day as I did with my dad. Something I have in common with a lot of you guys, especially with those guys that I learned about a lot over the last few days. And finally, I'm a retired DEA agent, so up until recently I had to stay in the background. To say the least, DEA frowned upon their agents getting on social media. And honestly, it just wouldn't be a wise decision. And frankly, it was not permitted. So that's about me. We'll get that out of the way because there's a lot of false narratives out there. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I really debated about even going to address this controversy that has arisen from my last episode. And I mean, it was just an opinion. I did not cancel Christmas. I didn't even tell anyone that they must not attend the National. But as my good friend Mark Twain said, never let the truth get in the way of a good story or narrative in this point. But like everything I experience in life, I try to learn from it. And my grandmother said it best. Everything happens for a reason. And for the most part, most of the time, with some exceptions, I agree with that. See, I just couldn't wrap my head around why sharing an opinion had led to such a polarizing effect in the community. I wanted to learn why this opinion was met with the reaction that it did, and I learned a lot. I learned about the baseball collecting community as a whole. So many aspects, especially in vintage baseball. I learned that a Babe Ruth PSA 1 isn't bad at all. In fact, it's kind of cool. I learned about strip cards. I learned about the Gastonia Grizzlies. They have a leprechaun for a mascot. And I learned about Kiss, but I knew about them, but that was still cool. I also learned that Pelican cases are destroying the card show experience. What is the world coming to? But I also learned how passionate, dedicated, driven the baseball collecting part of the hobby is, and how they view the National is much different than me, and how important it is to them, and I respect that. With that said, I think it's important that we just talk a little about and clear the air, and I want to put the topic to rest, and it will be as far as I'm concerned, unless of course, Mike, if you want to do a reaction video to the reaction video, then just give me a call. But I was on, because I'm Carlos, we did a marathon, 4 hours there, and I talked about this at length, but Carlos brought up a funny point. He said we can create the endless content creator loop if we just keep doing reaction after reaction. I thought that was funny. So how'd this all start? Well, last week I was home, or I was away from home, and I received a message from a friend saying someone made a reaction video to your video, my video on the National. And I said, wow. Then I told my son, who is also the editor, producer, director, who's responsible for the titles, throw him under the bus. And I told him that. And he said, wait, what? No way. And I said, yeah, yes. And he goes, that's awesome. Someone took the time to watch, produce, download your video about your video? I said, yeah, but I'm guessing it's not very flattering. I hadn't watched it yet. But as Phineas T. Barnum once said, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I'm not sure I agree with that, but we'll go with that. And I was informed later by numerous people in the hobby and my friends that other content creators mentioned me and ranted about me and talked about me. And I think that's really healthy and productive as long as it's done in a respectful, helpful way. So after I was done with the video, I watched it that night. And the video was done by Mike, Baseball Collector. Mike's also with Bench Clear Media. Coincidentally or not, the majority of people who commented on both Mike's and mine, well, mostly Mike's, then they crossed over to my video, are actually YouTube content creators themselves. And they all are excellent creators and providers of information. How do I know that? Because I watched them all. I watched them all. Later in the video, so stay tuned, we're going to talk about them. And that's part of my learning process. And a lot of you guys have a new subscriber. And if these guys produce content that you're interested in, please give them a subscribe. And as I said, when I talk about their comments and discuss, I'm going to have their YouTube channels, their front pages or whatever, however we do it, up there so you guys can check them out too. So back to the reaction video. I watched it, and I'll admit it, hey, it was fair. It was objective critique for the most part. It was well done. And like Mike stated in the video, he doesn't know me, and I don't know him. But Mike seems like a nice guy, and a couple guys that I know in the hobby know Mike personally. And they had nothing but good things to say about him, so their opinion is good enough for me. I mean, Mike gets in a few digs here and there, and who wouldn't? I mean, I would too. I'm good with that. It was good-natured. I mean, I get it. I would have done the same thing. I wish Mike would have messaged me. I would have came on his show for time and discussed it, but that's okay. It is what it is. And we agree on some things and disagree on others. But most importantly, we respect each other's opinion. We have a mutual respect for each other. And that's how it should be, not just in the hobby, but in life. Respect everyone's opinion, even if you don't agree with it. It's fine. Disagreement is great. It drives conversation. It makes people think. Do you know how boring life would be if everyone agreed on everything? And I think Mike just brought the same thing up in his video, and that's another thing that we agree upon. And at the end of the day, everyone has to make their own decision, their own choices, when it comes to going to the National or in life in general. Free will, as I always say, and some people have started to say, which I think is kind of cool. And it was scary to me, and a little, not upsetting, but it was weird that people would take anything I said and it would have a bearing on what they do. But I guess from some of the reaction, that's exactly what happened. But I do not have that power. Only you can give me that power, and I don't want it. And I don't want it. And I don't have it. So I did this video with my eyes wide open. I did the video we talked about with my eyes wide open, knowing it would be controversial. When I brought up the topic to my son, he encouraged me, but he warned me, a smart kid. He said, if you do this, you're going to get some hate. You're going against the grain. And if you say anything negative about the National, people will be triggered and they will come for you. I figured I may ruffle some feathers, but come for me? But he was right. He was right. and some continue to do so to this day. On my video, I got the majority of comments. You know, it wasn't, I think it was like 5-1 on a very, you know, a pretty well viewed video. Then I had a resurgence after Mike's reaction video, along with some new and colorful comments that followed. Maybe I should have been, but maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was genuinely surprised at the intense and occasional mean reaction for nothing more than a difference of opinion. But my son did warn me, and honestly, it's fine. It's fine. After a 26-year career with the DEA as a special agent, with the things I've experienced and gone through in my career, you're forced to, unfortunately, to develop a thick skin. As crazy as it sounds, I respect all of your opinions. Unwarranted attacks stemming from sheer stupidity and ignorance, now that's another issue. And there weren't many. I think of all the comments that I read and we're going to discuss, there were maybe 2. And I'll talk about them too. Now before we get into the comments, I did watch some other videos that counteracted or counterbalanced what I said. Actually it didn't, because the video itself, although it was a clickbait title, was just why I wasn't going to go, and my reasons. That's fine. I mean, I get it. I watched a video from those back pages, Eric, and Eric took exception to what my opinion was on why I thought the National was not worth attending. For me. And in the video, Eric speaks very eloquently, waxes poetically about his experience at the National. And the video is titled, Why You Must Attend the National. And Eric made some very compelling arguments, and after watching, I believe Eric would go to the ends of the earth to go to the National. It's that important to him. And there are some other channels and platforms that gave their take on it. Some obviously didn't watch my video. They were just triggered by the title, but we talked about that. But seek them out. Get a difference of opinion, because that's what it's all about. Now, as I stated, a lot of you guys left comments on Mike's reaction video, and then some of you took the trip over to my video and left a comment. By the way, my YouTube algorithm thanks you. So I figured the least I could do, since you took the time to leave your comments, directed at me on both Mike's video as well as mine, I thought it would be fun to answer your questions and give you some responses. Because again, if you took the time to write a comment directed at me, the least I could do is take time to respond. So this exercise also did another thing. It gave me a great opportunity to learn about each one of you through your channels. And I enjoyed that. I learned a lot. And while I'm answering and reading your comments, like I said before, I will have my producer, director extraordinaire put up your homepages so people can also visit and check you guys out for themselves. So, without further ado, let's get into some comments. So, the first comment came from Caleb's Cards, TTM Autographs, and More. Caleb said, sounds like just, I'm going to paraphrase because I know some people fat-fingered these, so forgive me if I don't read them verbatim, but I'll do my best just to make them make sense if they're a little bit off. Sounds like is just, I'm going to say just a disgruntled person and must have had a bad deal recently. I would go to meet the people who I watch or watch my channel. I think it would be a cool experience if I go. 100%, Caleb, 100%. And you should go, and I hope you do go. And I hope you get to go sooner than later. Caleb's channel is awesome. He's got a passion for autograph collecting, especially through TTM, through the mail. I learned something very fast, through the mail. That was really cool, and he's got a great station, and every one of these guys has a good station. If I don't say those exact words, take it from me, they do, and visit them. The Card Closet. I had to stop when he said he was a flipper. He does not live in my world. Eric, you're 100% right. I don't, and that's okay, right? No one lives in the same space. They just don't. But I'm learning about your world. I really am. Eric has a channel called The Card Closet. He is an average guy in the Midwest. Eric, don't sell yourself short. You're not an average guy. That was from his About on his channel. He collects sports cards. There isn't a lot of card community where Eric lives, so this is how he interacts. Beautiful. He pursues Red Sox, especially pre-war. Wow. Steelers, Lakers, and he builds sets. Check out Eric as he takes you along his card collecting journey. Good job. J23A45Y. Great job on the video, my brother. I am not sure he brought anything of value to the table. I'm sorry you feel that way, and that's your opinion, although I would disagree if you watch some of my stuff. I respect it. That's cool. JC likes the Mets, Bears, and Bulls. Mets, boo. Collects all-stars and superstar players. Also collects players born in California. How cool. Very cool, JC. Mark from Kentucky. I saw this guy's video. He must not be a collector. Sounds like an investor. I'm as cheap as they come, and I found great deals at the National in 2019. The National for me was fun to look around and see all the super nice rare vintage, learned a lot about vintage cards, and memorabilia. But the best part is seeing and meeting my fellow YouTubers and hanging out. It was cool to be recognized by some of my subscribers and talking to them about their cards. I wish I could go this year. I bet it was cool to be recognized. That's kind of nice, right? Although maybe I'll get recognized for the wrong reasons, but let's hope not. I hope you get to the National soon. I was actually stationed in Lexington in my career for 2 years, and what a beautiful state it is. Check out Mark's channel. Excellent baseball card content, and he even talks about bourbon, which is another one of my favorite things. Redemption is one of my favorite, along with some other Woodford Reserve. But anyway, can't beat that. Over the last 14 months, I've kind of developed a hobby for bourbon also. But check out Mark from Kentucky. Collecting Yinzer. You make excellent points. In my opinion, so many people have begun to treat this hobby strictly as a business. It's true. I agree everyone is entitled to their opinion. Thank you. I just don't agree with his. Noted. Thanks for doing this. Other people need to know that not everyone is strictly in it for the money. They're not. Wish I could make the National, but just had another surgery on my leg. Collecting Yinzer, you are 100%, and not everyone is in it for the money. I have a collection. I collect with my son, and I do it on the side. I do. I buy some cards, I speculate, and I sell them, and that's just something that I like to do. Check out Yinzer's channel, and sincerely, I hope that your surgery goes well. If it already went, a quick and speedy recovery. The Ticket Leprechaun, I like this a lot. This was fun. Sure, it costs a decent chunk of change to get to the National. Not everyone can pay that and also have money to spend. I mean, I'm not in that group. However, it was a ton of fun when I was able to attend. And that was years before I really knew anyone in the hobby. Just my cousin. So I went with him to the show. So now, knowing so many people, I'm positive it would be an absolute blast. And I bet it would be. If you would have simply changed the title, Why I'm Not Going to the National, it would have been fine. Look at this, the thumbnail. Kind of after. If you would have watched for a minute, 2 minutes, you would have figured that one out. But that's okay. Me personally, I wish I could be there. I hope everyone able to go has a great time. And I want to thank you, Mr. Ticket Leprechaun. Jake seems like a really terrific guy. And I agree, that title was totally clickbait. And it got people on there, and I hope it got people to think. But who cares why I'm not attending, right? It is what it is. And Jake, is actually a leprechaun. He is. He's a leprechaun for the Gastonia Grizzlies. 2017 champs. Go Grizz. He works at a ticket department. At least he did. His channel doesn't seem to be very active, but check out Jake. Cool dude. One of my favorites. This is one of the exceptions to the rules, right? We have a couple. Here's one. Baseball Hall of Fame autograph. Appears to be a troll job for that Bravo! Exclamation point. I just subscribed to his channel. So first off, Frank, thank you very much for subscribing. If you're going to go for something like that, go for the Bravo Indio Tango Charlie Hotel, because that's probably what you really meant, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing. What do I know? But if you're going to say it, go for it, right? Second, if you're going to be a troll, watch the video first. But I don't know if that's proper troll etiquette. I believe it is, but maybe you can tell me. Or maybe you just comment on something without watching. Not sure at all. But I watched Frank on Bench Clear Media with Ty and Mike. Frank's a CPA, and he gives some really great advice on taxes and sports cards. I learned a lot. Frank lives in Metro Detroit, which I did, which was my last stomping ground. And he collects autographs. His impossible goal is to obtain an autograph of every baseball Hall of Famer. Quite the undertaking, and I wish you luck. And all the information I'm talking about, you guys, it's all on your channel. I mean, it's not like it's right there out in the open. So that's how I learn about you guys, and I appreciate it. Check out Frank's channel, and he's got some great information, and he's good. He's very good. So best of luck, Frank, on your channel and also on the trolling. Appreciate it. And thanks for the sub again. TJ Maxx Vintage Cards. Seems kind of silly he would discourage people from attending. I have no issue with him stating why he doesn't plan to go and let other people decide. That's exactly what I did. I think he's just looking for people to click on his video. Guilty. I like your video where you have advice of those who plan to go. It's very well done. Hope all is well. Take care, Terry. Yeah, Mike also did a guide to the National, which I looked at. It was really, really good. So if you're going to go, that's really a good resource. Indeed, Terry, it would be silly, and even sillier if anyone didn't go based on what I said. Terry collects graded superstars of Hall of Fame cards in baseball, football, and hockey from the 1930s to 1989. He enjoys watching all kinds of sports-related videos, even those that are not what he collects. He looks for videos that are informative, show off cards, and where the collector shows passion for what they have. This is a passionate part of the hobby, you guys. I enjoy the history of sports and love to share stories and information about players I collect. Awesome. Hashtag Rara knows. I made a comment on this video about how an individual treats the show. Seems like the sports investor guy, me, looks at the show solely means to source cards, and if this is his view and then his rationale does have merit, thank you. If he requires travel lodging, however, I would assume that most of the people to the show, like himself, go for a multitude of reasons and treat the event like a vacation where he can do what he is passionate about with like-minded people to network, socialize, and of course have some cards. And now he says a great thing. We all have our own specific agendas, and each individual has their own goals within the hobby. Perfectly stated. Yeah, that was terrific. Perfectly stated. Pepino Man, Cesar. His title is totally clickbait. He's a self-serving dude. I admitted that on my last video. I mean, I guess I kind of am. That stung a bit, but it's fine. And Cesar made a comment on my video, the original one, and it also was one of the top-rated comments on the video. He said, I love the National. This will probably be the first time I'm going, more to look at cards as opposed to buying. It's great. I could see your point of view, but as a person who doesn't invest, I disagree with not going because I'm not getting anything financially. Of course. I respect your opinion, but we just approach the hobby differently. I see the National as a card and memorabilia museum that is worth attending. Perfectly stated. 100% right. We approach the hobby differently, and that's okay. And I hope you get to go, and you're going to have a great time. And I'm sorry if my video upset you. I saw the first one where you weren't happy with it, and that was not my purpose. It really was not. Check out Cesar's channel, Pepino Man. I loved it. It is fun, it is entertaining, and he is just so knowledgeable. So make sure you check out his channel. Picker Jim, never heard of this guy, but definitely seems to be out of touch with collectors. Guilty. And Picker Jim also stopped by my channel and said, too bad you look at the hobby through dollar signs and your experience is based on a business proposition. There's way more than that. Of course there is. And that's why people should make their own decisions. That's a good thing. Picker Jim got back into baseball collecting in 2018, and he makes videos documenting the cards he's collecting. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, this next guy's special. Zigzag Collector. So here's the deal. I respect everyone's opinion. I really do. I really do. And I think you can see that. And I just do. If you take the effort to comment and it differs in mine, then that's fine. But the attack hacks and trolls, they just got to get a little special recognition from me. This guy's one of the worst, or best, depending on your perspective. And out of all the comments I got, really two, Frank, which I get Frank was joking around, that's fine. Maybe he was, I don't know. But, the trolls, I don't know. But I really like this guy. I admire his dedication. There are just some guys that are devoted to trolling me, and he's one of them. I mean, everyone needs a purpose in life, and frankly, one should just aim a bit higher than trolling me. I'm not worth it. I'm not. And sadly, after this comment, Zigzag's trolling days may be over. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Because if he's a man of his word, then... Well, let's see what Zigzag had to say. Says, Michael, you are too kind. This guy clearly is a grifter and a knucklehead. Do you think he has ever purchased a car? Loses value the moment you pull it off the lot. Thankfully, I never have to watch a video from him again. Free will! You're welcome, Ziggy. Ziggy, sorry, that offended Ziggy. Sorry, Zigzag. I am not a grifter. Far from it. Do you know the definition of a grifter? Look it up. If you watch my videos and you see what I have to do, that ain't me. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I do love how the word has kind of like slipped back in the mainstream. I feel we're back in the old west. Oh, a grifter coming into town, the snake oil guy. Knucklehead, on the other hand, that's up for debate, especially if you ask my wife. Do you think he ever purchased a car? Loses value the moment you pull it out of the lot. Not that it's any of your business, Zigzag, but yes. I have purchased a car in my life, and indeed, they lose value as soon as you take them off the lot. Great analogy, very comparable. I only wish that I had the intelligence to come up with that myself before you did. Next time I'm at the bank, I'm going to apply for a card loan. Thankfully, I never have to watch a video from him again. Promises, promises. Speaking of dribble, see what I did there? Not even used the word dribble before. Predictably, Zigzag moseyed on over to my video and made the following comment. The National isn't worth going to... Sorry, I'll try to clean this up for you, Mr. Zig. The National isn't worth going to for small-time flippers like yourself. The National is a must to attend for big-time flippers. Okay. The National is a must attend for collectors who love the hobby and the community of collectors. The video confirmed you are a small-time grifter. I'm not even a big-time grifter. It's okay, no one is perfect, and no one is. No one is, and I especially am not. While we agree on that, the National isn't a must attend for anyone. It's up to the individual. It is. It just is. Pay attention. Pay attention. And as far as watching my videos, you will. You're watching right now. You're watching right now, and it's taking everything in your power and your keyboard cowboy fingers not to respond. It's killing you. It's killing you, but you want to. You need to. You have to. It's something ingrained deep inside your being, inside that brain of yours. See, I could have been mean, but I'm not that type of guy. But you promised, Zigzag, you wouldn't want to break that promise. You have integrity, you have willpower, and you cannot watch any of my videos, but you will. Good luck, happy life, Zigzag. Don't be a stranger. On second thought, be a stranger. And if you get the urge to go on a video, just go on and do what you do best. Go on some live chat and threaten some Pelican case carrying guys at a card show. Moving on. Mr. Fisher Bike, aka Jason. Who is this dude? This guy clearly has not made the friend connection that most of us have made. When I just went to the Bay Area show with Lou and Mike, we didn't pay asking at all. And in fact, we did some amazing deals. Good for you, Jason. This guy is stuff and stale. If you have to read your script for your own video, I'm reading now, I'm out. The National is all about finding cards for your PC, hanging out, and meeting new friends. I do use notes. I do, because I want to stay on track. I don't shoot from the hip. I don't ramble on. And I put a lot of work into videos. This video took a long time because I got to learn a lot about you guys. And here's the thing. If you are willing to give me your time, then I think I owe it to you to give you my best effort. And Ty, I don't know if you have Jason's on the thumbnail or his homepage on, but take it off and just give me a shot here, because I want to say something directly to Jason. I mean, just sincerely. Jason, I was a federal law enforcement officer for 26 years, and I have many friends still in the job, and I've lost a lot of friends on the job, unfortunately. And when I looked at your channel, which is a great channel, by the way, I saw that you were a firefighter and a paramedic. And we can disagree on a lot of things, and that's great. But I just want to tell you that not just in card collecting, but in what you do, what you've chosen as your life work, I have the utmost respect and admiration for what you do. So stay safe and God bless. And make sure you go check out Jason's channel. He is close to 1,000 subs. So all my guys that come and watch me, go over to Jason and get them there. But thank you, Jason. And that's with all sincerity. I know this is a lot of fun and games that we're doing here, but this is some serious stuff. So thank you. Thank you. Beansball Card Blog. One of my hobby friends really likes this guy. Well, thank you, Beansball Card Hobby friend. I checked him out and subbed a few weeks. He brings nothing to my hobby experience, so I have no concern about his opinion. Good. That's exactly right. I'm not even going to the national. You couldn't have said it better. I could not have said that better. Check out Kent's channel. From the last video that I watched of Kent's, he may be scaling down. He may have some other opportunities, but in any case, I think he's still on Instagram and Twitter, but good luck to Kent and your future endeavors, and I mean that sincerely. Elite Hunters. Man, Elite Hunters spent a lot of time writing comments, and I get it. He goes, wow, Mike, this guy generalized all shoppers at the show of not having a clue. Watch the video. Do you have any room on this card? Watch the video. How else are you supposed to know if a dealer is firm or he's willing to go? Just watch the video. And he goes on, and basically he says he's going to tell me the same thing on my video, and he does, and that's cool. But he does say a really important thing. He says the best advice is to have an idea. You're in power because ultimately you have the money, and he's 100% right. So check out Elite Hunters. He's got a really good channel. He does a lot of stuff. And what the coolest thing about when I went on his channel is it's a video called I think it's Brouhaha VR card of myself, where he actually does his own card, like he draws his own card. It was awesome, and I enjoyed it a lot. So go check that out. That was really cool. MP Fox. I have no idea who this guy is, LOL. I look at the whole hobby differently for sure. Yep. I spend what I think I want to spend, and if I don't like the price, I walk. That's exactly right. I don't care. In the end, it's my enjoyment of having fun. Thanks for sharing. And that is the way to look at it. MP Fox, all you guys could not have said it better. You're just echoing what I'm saying. It's fine, right? And I highly recommend going on MP Fox's channel. It is so much fun, so well produced, so entertaining. He does videos with his son, MC Fox, he's the star of the show. I hate to say it, MP, but he's the star of the show. I think you would agree to that. Plus, they love Kiss, the rock group. I love Kiss too. That was awesome. Just terrific stuff. It really reminded me of the days when I would spend time with my son when he was that age, and it was so cool. So check him out. Give him a subscribe. And do me a favor, MP Fox. I mean, message me on Instagram, because I would love to send something to your son. He's terrific. So anyway. Steven the Card Cutter. If people would just watch your ultimate guide to NSCC, I'm guessing he said they would not need to watch that guy's video. You broke down that video like an over-under shotgun. I love that. I love that. I'll leave it there. Anyone who uses an analogy of an over-under shotgun, you're okay by me. Check out Card Cutter. Tons of videos, good stuff. And he's been creating content a long time. 10 years. Just awesome stuff. Vintage Oddball Cards. This was one of my favorite content providers because I learned so much from Rick. He was excellent. He says, I definitely try to go each year. For me, card collecting is a hobby. A hobby is supposed to be fun. The National's fun. If a collector goes sting a business trip, then they're going to be disappointed. That's exactly right, and that's why I chose not to go. that was on mine. And I think he said, thanks for sharing an opposing opinion. This guy doesn't get it. But there's always one in the crowd. The hobby's supposed to be fun. Nationals fun. Can't wait 6 months away. And that's fine. But as I said before, Rick has an awesome channel. One of the things that I like about Rick's channel so much is he is so educational oriented, and that is so good. I learned about strip cards and different type. It was almost watching an episode of the History Channel. It was that good. So anyone, even if you're not interested in those, go watch. I mean, he talks about the great. He's fantastic. Go watch Rick. Thanks, Rick. I learned a lot. Blue Jacket 66. He just left 3 bullets. Who is this sports card investigator? That would be me. When you tell me to slam the like button, I automatically turn off your video. I don't think I said slam. I did said if you like it, hit it, but I'll take that under advisement. I'm sorry. Look, it is what it is, right? But in any case, check out Dave's Blue Jacket channel. Lots of good stuff. Really, every one of you guys. Good stuff. Weskeroff. Of course, the National is a hard pass, especially when you don't even go to the Philly show or any other card shows in your area. I watched his video, and I've never seen him before at any card show in the area. Are you looking for me, Ed? You probably will be now. He probably didn't even go to the National in AC in 2016. Guilty. Also, Charlie's Pizza is insanely overrated. Tony makes a better tomato pie. Now, Ed, this is where we draw the line. It's all fun and games until someone offends pizza. When you attack another man's pizza parlor, well, that's just a bridge too far for me. Ed, thanks for watching the entire video. And I will try Tony's Pizza. And I will give you an unbiased opinion. I will not rush to judgment based on reviews of other people who may or may not have even tried Tony's Pizza or, excuse me, or may have a vested interest in such. So I promise I will practice. I will try it before I comment. We actually have a mutual friend who said you're a good man, and his word is good enough for me. And Ed, you are right. They do not watch the games. Excuse me. Rivenwood. In my opinion, these shows are nothing more than flipper shows. I'd rather give my money to my local card store. At least he's trying to make a living than a dealer who has a little need for collectors and more for flippers. Fair point. Mike replied, just asked if he's ever been to a card show. Ty, again, if you're on, just give me a shot here. So like I had done with other videos, I went to Rivenwood's channel. The first thing I did is with all your channel, all the information that I got came from your about in your channels. It wasn't hard to find, and that's how I learned about the channels. And it gives me some insight on you and your channel. And I take a look at the videos and get a feel for your content. I did the same thing for Rivenwood. He wrote, my first baseball card was 1958. Mostly I added them to my bike spokes with balloons to make a really cool sound. I did the same with a Sonny Jurgensen. In 1963 is the year that really set me on the path to collecting baseball cards when I met the Mick. How cool could that have been? From that year, he's been a Yankee fan and a collector of baseball cards. In 1969, his mom went into his room while he was in the Marine Corps and found his shoebox. It was his most prized possessions, baseball cards. He had Mickey Mantle, Drysdale, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, all the greats in a box, and his mom thought they were garbage because some looked as if they were used in his bike spokes in 1958. And she tossed them out. And Rivenwood has been chasing that shoebox ever since. I have a favor. For one moment, let's put all our differences aside, okay? If you're a subscriber of mine or not, if you're here to troll, if you're here to give me negative comments or just happen upon my channel, if you love me, like me, hate me, if you think I'm self-absorbed, self-centered, or self-serving, if you think I'm a grifter, a knucklehead, a bravo, do me a favor. Better yet, do yourself a favor and visit Rivenwood's channel. Stop in, say hello, and better off, wish him well. Trust me when I say this, you'll be glad you did. Alright, so unless Mike wants to do a reaction to the reaction video, I'm going to move on. And for everyone I've offended by giving my opinion or perspective, I'm not sorry. It's an opinion. It has no bearing on what you should decide to do as far as national or in life. So here's the deal. In all sincerity, it may seem strange to say, but I'm happy this happened. I am happy that my video caused the controversy that it did. Because if it didn't, I would have just moved on to the next video. To me, this would have been an opportunity lost. But because it did cause such a visceral, such a strong reaction, evoked such an emotional response, I had to know why. That's just me. That's in my DNA. That's what I did. That's what I do. And because of that, I got to discover, I got to learn about a different perspective, about a collector's perspective, about your perspective, you guys specifically. And through investigating and researching and learning and watching, and I learned a little bit about you guys, what the hobby means to you. And I saw firsthand through your comments and your videos and interactions on other shows, your passion and your love for the hobby, and just how knowledgeable that you guys really are. So that's it for this episode. And one more thing, self-serving. If you guys have a lead on Sandy Koufax, a card, I don't even know what card to look for. You guys tell me. I trust you. You're the experts by far. Let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. Tell me what you think. I'll be happy to get in touch with you guys. So seriously, and I appreciate that. So that's it. That's it for this episode. Next week we get back to the episode of cards. I'm going to talk about some rookies that are maybe hitting their floor. Talk about another video that I watched by Sports Card Analytics about a pop and price ratio, which is an interesting concept. So until then, thanks again and take care.